In this video, I'll be teaching you a very profitable strategy. Now, this strategy is often used by those that trade ICT and smart money concept and also price action. Now, what is this strategy? It's called FVG, Fair Value Gap. Now, it's often used by those that trade price action and ICT and the rest. All right. So now in this video, I'm going to be explaining to you what FVG means. But I saw a video on Instagram and this guy literally explained it well with all those animated videos. So I feel that will be beautiful. So I'm going to be adding the video and I'm also giving him his credit. I'm also giving him his credit. So let's watch the video. And after watching the video, we are moving straight into my screen where I would show you how to use the um, FVG strategy to the best way and get the best results from it. Let's go.
A fair value gap is a three candle pattern in which there is no overlap between the high of the first candle and the low of the third candle. In this case, we have a fair value gap. But then when there is an overlap in between the high of the first candle and the low of the third candle, then we don't have a fair value gap. Now, how do we use fair value gap? Whenever price leaves a fair value gap behind, it always retraces back into this level of inefficiency in the market before it continues in its intended direction. Now, there's a case whereby price is going to disrespect a fair value gap. When price disrespects a fair value gap, we have a fair value gap inversion. Now that we have a fair value gap inversion, price is always going to retrace into this fair value gap inversion before it continue moving in the opposite direction this time around. Fair value gaps act as support to push price up in the case of a bullish fair value gap, and it acts as resistance to push price down in the case of a bearish fair value gap.
Okay, guys, now we are on my screen. Now, I took this trade, as you can see, it's a 122 pips take profit and a 30 pips stop loss trade. All right. Now, I took this trade this morning in my community and I literally used the FVG, the fair value gap strategy to take this sniper entry, and it gave us perfect 122 pips take profit. Now let's go to my Telegram group so you would see what I'm talking about. Now this is my Telegram group, and I have over 14,000 subscribers. Now this is the signal. As you can see, I sent this signal this morning at about 8:29 a.m. Let's open the signal so you see. Look at it, was a sell limit signal. I knew price was going to get to this point and fall. Do you understand? So let's go back to our chart. Now, how did I take that trade? Now, I used the fair value gap. Now, this strategy I'm going to teach you is something you've never seen before, something you've never heard before. Or you might have heard it before, but I'm really going to bring it to you in a beautiful and a better manner in which you would understand it, and it's going to be very, very easy for you to implement. So please do not skip this video for anything. Make sure you watch. I'm going to make sure it's not too long. Now, um many of you might ask, sir, are we going to be looking at the screen and trying to catch the fair value gap candles? Yes, that's how you're supposed to be doing it. But thanks to God, we have an indicator that does it for us automatically. Do you understand? So instead of you going to look for the three bullish candle or the three bearish candle that has the fair value gap and all, you may not be able to find it, but we have an indicator. And now, let me make this clear. We are going to be using this strategy on a 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame. All right. So now, let me make this visible. As you can see, this was the signal. Supposed to be, let me go back so we can see everything, how the signal. Yeah. Okay. So this was the signal, right? This was what I sent in my Telegram group. Now, what you want to do is you go on indicator and you search for this fair value gap by Lux Algo. Thanks to Lux Algo for creating this indicator. All right, so it automatically um plots the fair value gap for you. It just brings them out for you, so you don't have to start looking for it. So let's switch it on. As you can see, I have it here. Let's switch it on. Okay, now let's go to a 1 hour time frame. Like I said, 1 hour time frame. I use this on a 1 hour time frame. All right, as you can see on our 1 hour time frame, it plotted the fair value gap for us here. This is the fair value gap. This red, or is this orange you are seeing here, indicating that there is a fair value gap here. All right, if you scroll down, you see the one for buy, which is the green. We all know green, buy, red, sell. All right, so it does it for us automatically. Now, before price got to this part whereby it's showing this other fair value gap, if you notice, price was at this place when this value gap was visible. All right, so if you listen to the definition of fair value gap, it states that price would always want to go back to the fair value gap and it will retrace back to the fair value gap, then continue its direction or its movement. All right, understand? So price was at this point where I switched on my fair value gap and I saw it here, and I knew definitely price would want to go back to this fair value gap point, then continue selling. And that was why I gave out this signal. Just simple with fair value gap, simple as ABCD. And if you watch price, the market even broke our take profit and continued going downwards. Now, how do you set your take profit? Now, I should have done this. I should have done this for my take profit, which is this. I should have done this because this is how you take your take profit. You put your profit at the previous fair value gap. This is how I do it. I don't know if there's any other way, but this is how I do it. I put my profit at the previous fair value gap. And if you watch, if I had put my take profit here, I would have still closed in perfect profit. If you notice, it still went down to respect this fair value gap. So this was the one it respected before it started retracing. And this should have been over 270 pips. But I am not worried. I still took over 122 pips away from this. And this is enough for me. Do you understand? So it's as simple as that. On a 1 hour, switch on your fair value gap. Wherever you see fair value gap, do you understand? You take your trade based on the direction of the market. Already the fair value gap would indicate. Do you get? Now, if we use our trend line here, although we are not using trend line for this tutorial, but let's just say we use our trend line here. All right. Then it's already showing us that, okay, on a 1 hour time frame, this is a bearish trend. Then you switch on your fair value gap, as you can see here. Then what you just need to do is as simple as ABCD. This is your entry point in between the fair value gap, just anywhere around the fair value gap. This is your entry point. Simple as ABCD. Now, as you all know, sometimes your fair value gap may disrespect price may disrespect the fair value gap. Let's say, for instance, price came down here, continue going upward, broke this fair value gap, take your stop loss, broke the trend line, and continue going up. It happens. So, but the beautiful thing is, any strategy you're using, as long as it has 60, 70, or 80% win rates, forget about the 30 or 40 or 20 remaining percent. Your 60% profit would overshadow your 40% loss, as long as you're using a good risk to reward, even if you're using a 1 to 2 risk to reward. All right, so this is as simple as ABCD. So if you just want to add more, you can just use your trend line. Although I did not use trend line, but trend lines are also good just to tell you the direction of the market. Your own is just switch on the fair value gap indicator. I've switched it off. Just switch it on. As you can see, price was here. Let's go back to my Telegram group so you will see. Look at, price was around this point. Then the fair value gap was actually, it showed around here. Then it was just easy for me using the trend line to realize that, okay, market's on the downtrend. Simple as ABCD. We got over 122 pips. All right, so this is just it, nothing else. Fair value gap is a gold mine. is an indicator or it's a strategy that will definitely give you high win rates. High win rate. No wonder the ICT guys uses it. No wonder the smart money concept guys uses it, because this strategy is top notch and it's simple. Thanks to Lux Algo, just download, search for the indicator, click the indicator, search for fair value gap, and just add it to your chart. It's as simple as that. It works. Now let me show you this trade. There's a trade I called right now in my Telegram, in my VIP group, which is which is EURUSD. I already sent it. Sell EURUSD at 1.09268. Why did I call that signal? Look at my fair value gap. Look at my fair value gap. All right. And we all know, if we use our trend line, as you can see, market is on a downtrend on a 1 hour time frame. Then the fair value gap is also like a confirmation. All right. So just like this, then you switch on your fair value gap. This is my fair value gap here. Let me switch it off. Then switch it on. It literally just tells you a good entry point. Now this is our entry point, and if you notice, price price is already going to that zone, to that area, and I can bet you for a fact that it would respect that fair value gap and it will give us profit. So guys, it's as simple as that. Fair value gap, simple as ABCD. Thank you very much, guys.